This is the snow zone, a place where people mix with the environment to develop their own individual concept of recreation. The Rap film crew traveled to ski areas throughout the world last season to capture just a part of what was happening in the snow zone. This is a movie for serious skiers. A serious skier isn't necessarily someone who can get down the hill the fastest or jump from the highest cliff. We feel a serious skier is someone who skis because they love it. The skiers in this film come from many walks of life and choose different ways and places to express themselves in their skiing disciplines. The fact that these people are some of the best in the world reflects the commitment and passion they have for their sport. Each person has a different way to do this, and a different place. The Rap film crew will take you to many locations to experience with real people their own particular snow zone. The first stop of the Rap film crew's ski odyssey was Snowbird, Utah. With 450 inches of annual snowfall, Snowbird matches any of the resorts on a European tour. This mountain is a must for any serious skier. We decided that this was the perfect place to shoot the bump skiing sequence for Snow Zone. Last year, Nelson Carmichael won the overall World Cup mogul title, and we were excited about having him in our film. By the end of this year, he had done it again. He learned to ski moguls in Steamboat, Colorado with longtime friend Cooper Shell. Cooper has had his fair share of first-place finishes in World Cup competition, as well as being past U.S. national champion. This is how Cooper and Nelson define the rhythm of a mogul field. They combine speed, agility, and lightning-fast reflexes with flawless technique. For Nelson Carmichael and Cooper Shell, this is the Snow Zone. On a different mountain nearby, away from the moguls, is a huge natural wind drift, better known as the wave. Some members of the U.S. freestyle aerial team were shaping the wave into a perfect quarter pipe. When these guys aren't throwing multiple twisting triple flips, they're always looking for new ways to express themselves in the air. This is Chip Milner. The rap film crew was to meet up with him again later in the season. Trace Worthington, FIS World Cup Rookie of the Year and ranked 6th in the world in freestyle aerials. And he's only 19 years old. Bob Evans, known by other team members as the Messiah. And Rob Shapiro, a Salt Lake City local. Although Rob doesn't jump for the national team, he spends a good deal of his time in the air. National ski team policy states that unless a jump site is sanctioned by the team, it's against the rules to do inverted aerials. Or in other words, go upside down and you're off the team. Rob isn't restricted by anyone's rules. When a crowd started to gather, they decided to launch straight off the lip, and in the words of the Messiah, go for some tweaked, boneless, totally mutated air. Bob Evans. Chip Milner doing a screaming seaman. Trace Worthington with the windshield wiper. The next time we ran into Nelson Carmichael and the U.S. team was at the World Cup freestyle competition in the Olympic city of Calgary. The setting for the competition was the Olympic 90-meter jumping facility. The bowl, with seating for 35,000 people, was specially adapted just for this competition. The counterslope, or outrun, for the 90-meter jump would serve as the landing hill for the aerials. And for the first time ever, the mogul run was built on the landing hill of the 90-meter jump. Calgary, once again, was to play host to a truly spectacular event. 150 athletes from over 20 nations prepared themselves for 3 days of competition just minutes from downtown Calgary. The courses must also be prepared to exacting standards. Until this specially sculpted terrain is ready to launch these athletes into space. The warm-ups are complete. The vision of the jump is clear in the mind. The final step before takeoff is the practicing of the motions which cause the flips and the twists. The strong Canadian national aerial team competing at home want to prove their skills, but they had a bad weekend. Philippe Laroche, second in the aerial Grand Prix after 5 competitions, was slightly off balance on his landing, and the points the judges awarded dropped him to 21st place in the competition. Alex Stroganer had perfect takeoff and form on his triple jump, but couldn't stick the landing, causing him to place 5th in the event. Eric Laborex, who led the overall Grand Prix for the 1989 season, warmed up in training with a perfect triple twisting triple flip, a full. Performing the same jump during the competition, he just missed his landing and twisted his knee, which put him out of the competition and the rest of the season. A new generation of American aerialists made a breakthrough at the Calgary event with the talent of Chip Milner and Trace Worthington, who placed 2nd in this event. Tor Skaya of Bergen, Norway, won the aerial competition with almost perfect form, landing his full. After hitching up with the World Cup freestyle circuit, we decided to check out the Kananaskis Valley and the Banff Lake Louise area, just outside of Calgary. The new ski area to join this group is the Olympic Mountain of Nikiska. Its sister resort just down the road is Fortress Mountain, a little-known secret and a local favorite for the people of Alberta, Canada. The town of Banff acts as the stepping-off point for an assortment of skiing opportunities that include Lake Louise, Sunshine Village, and Mount Norquay. All of these ski areas are in the Canadian parks, where wildlife is a frequent sight. The recently expanded Mount Norquay offers skiing for all levels of ability. Sunshine Village was one of the original ski areas, with the backdrop being Mount Assiniboine, Matterhorn of the Rockies. Lake Louise is the next stop just down the road, offering 4 mountain faces and powder bowls that you only find in these mountains. Marmot Basin is at Jasper, in the northern end of Banff Park. Banff has been a skiing mecca for the past 50 years. The castle-like Banff Springs Hotel and Chateau Lake Louise offer hospitality that you would expect at the best European resorts. In the beginning, the CP Railway acted as the method of transportation into this remote country. Skiing was more than a sport in the 30s. It was an adventure. From the train station at Lake Louise, skiers would tour into the mountains to see the natural sights. This was the start of the development of the world-class ski destinations that are here today. The technology of high-speed quad chairlifts that now exists is a far cry from the skiing experience of this time. Being an adventure, skiing at this time was dangerous in the mountainous glacial backcountry. Crevasses, easily covered by snow, were hazards that people were not as prepared for. In 1942, Victor Kachura, a famous Austrian mountain guide, fell 70 feet into a crevasse, landing on a ledge. Even an experienced mountain man like this was not protected from the natural dangers of the glacier. This time, Victor was lucky. He went on to guide in the Alberta Rockies for many years to the end of his career. Lake Louise, site of the 1988 Women's World Cup downhill. Maria Walliser, Swiss, leading the World Cup and a favorite to win this event. Her rival, and also Swiss, Michela Fagini, was hot on her tail in second. They had all come to Lake Louise to invade Karen Percy's snow zone, as she was the hometown favorite. She has a real possibility of a win, with her 2 Olympic bronze and a silver medal from the Vail World Championships. Percy is on course. Percy, in good form, maintaining momentum as she goes through the gates. Maria Walliser. Michela Fagini, hot on Walliser's tail, keeps it together. As Percy comes in, she knows she doesn't have the time it'll take today. Walliser waits impatiently for her teammate Fagini to finish. Michela Fagini looks over her shoulder to see her winning time. This is a day at Lake Louise the Swiss team will reign over the World Cup downhill. Michela Fagini went on to win the overall World Cup downhill title for the season, with Walliser taking a close second. Today, Banff Lake Louise attracts the skier looking for the untracked powder run. This is James McGavin, ex-freestyle coach from Squaw Valley and Steamboat Springs. Ted Dunnigan, ski racing coach from Calgary. And the third member of this ski trio is Rap Films producer John Long. Combined, their skiing experiences include Europe, New Zealand, many areas in the United States and Canada. And yet they choose to ski in the Alberta Rockies because of the terrain and powder snow. With the low population of the surrounding area, first tracks are possible 3 days after a snowfall. This is the Alberta Rockies in Canada, and home to some of the finest on and off piste skiing you will find. Just west of Banff Lake Louise is some of the best helicopter skiing in the world. The majority of people who ski here come all the way from Europe. This is the playground of the rich and the richer. But not everybody who skis here pays $300 or more a day for the ultimate skiing experience. Kirk Jensen in the yellow and John Mellis in the red ski here free of charge. They work at Lake Louise ski area. Kirk works on the trail crew and John is on the avalanche patrol. This is where they spend their days off. They both know how to handle themselves in this environment and come here without a guide. Not recommended for most skiers because this terrain can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. When they come here, they stay at the High Country Hilton. There's no maid service, but the price is right. The skiing up here is so good there's no time to even shovel off the roof. And with the aid of skins, they make their way around this terrain with ease. And this is the reason they leave the ski area boundaries behind. They took us to a place that even we weren't too sure of. Even though they checked out the stability of the cornice and the landing, there is always a risk when doing a maneuver this radical. Kirk tests the cornice for strength. He goes for even more air. The impact sends him into a series of cartwheels and he disappears into the crevasse. He's okay. This is the snow zone reserved for the likes of Kurt Jensen and John Mellis. Next stop, Europe, where Rap Films director James Angro was surveying the situation as the Alps experienced their worst snow season on record.
Our winter tour wouldn't have been complete without checking out what was happening in the Alps. The Swiss Alps, to be precise. When we arrived in Europe, it didn't look very hopeful. Someone must have been keeping an eye out for us. When we awoke after a night's sleep in Verbier, it had snowed over 1 meter the night before. Verbier, land of endless couloirs. From this town you can access a variety of mountains, including Mount Atla and the Mont Fort. The groomed slopes will get you down the mountain. However, to really experience Verbier, you have to get off the main trails and ski the fall line. Mark Stephen, Australian World Cup mogul skier and Verbier citizen every winter. Mark skis all year round, the winter in Europe and the summer in Australia. This is Lisa Nicholas, another Australian World Cup mogul skier who makes Verbier home. Stevie Lee is another member of the Verbier contingent from Australia. With him is Colin Morrison of Scotland. Steve races on the World Cup downhill circuit against the likes of Peter Mueller and Perman Zurbriggen. When not racing downhill, this is Steve's home every winter, and he comes here to do this. Colin Morrison. The third member of the ski party is Stefan Andersson of Sweden, full-time skier, part-time ski model, part-time bartender at the Mont Fort pub. parapente, the sport of foot or ski launching a parachute. To ski Verbier with this group is to experience the Swiss Alps the way they should be. They take full advantage of what the mountain has to offer with couloirs, rock jumps, and powder bowls. So if you're looking for a place to ski in Europe that offers days of non-repetitive excitement, try Verbier.
Just over the border from Verbier is Chamonix, France. This is where you will see the highest peak in the Alps, Mont Blanc. It is also where you can ski at one of the most extreme ski areas in the world, the Aiguille de Midi. In the summer, this area is where you will find the active European climbing crowd crowning the peaks such as the